Good evening. We'd like to begin our meeting with the pledge to the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everybody's had a chance to look over the minutes and operating statements from last month. Make a motion for approve, or if there's any corrections.
I make a motion to approve the July 2025 operating statements, June 16, 2025 closed session minutes, July 28, 2025 council meeting minutes, and the August 11, 2025 work session minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. There's any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Noes? Motion's carried. Okay, also the quantum financial statement. Approval for that.
I'll make a motion that we approve Quantum's financial statements for July 2025.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any questions? None?
Thought you were
Tony?
recusing yourself from this.
We're definitely doing that then?
I don't
Yes.
know.
Okay.
Are you or not?
All right.
You and I can't do this.
Okay.
We recuse ourselves.
Okay, Brett second. Okay, motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Noes? Okay, two recused. All right, okay, under my report, the guys were out today and they're putting the no parking signs up along North Main Street because school starts next week. We're gonna try to eliminate the parking on North Main Street where people park going into the school and coming both directions of the school because it is a hazard up there. People park along the road. The buses can't get into the school. People park along North Main Street going up from the doctor's office, and they park North Main Street coming in, and traffic has to go in and out of the traffic to get around, and that is a town street, so we talked about putting no parking signs there. The guys are putting those signs up today. I talked to the principal up at the high school, or up at the Elmer Wolf Elementary School, right after we had our work session, and he agrees there is a problem there. It has been ever since COVID. Everybody thought after since COVID, they had to haul their kids to school instead of send them on the bus. And not just Elmer Wolf Elementary has the problem, but every school in the county has that problem. But the other schools have a place where people can get off the street. You go down Uniontown Road, they got in front of the elementary school, you go out to Spring Ridge, and they have places they can get off the road. Here on North Main Street, they have nowhere to go but park on the street. And they get so many cars up there, the buses, and Bob can tell you, the buses can't even get on the parking lot. They're setting out in the street. And we got all these trucks that's going through Union Bridge, weaving in and out of traffic, and then they have to stop. Sometimes they have to stop. It's one-way traffic up there. So we put signs up there. The principal said that he was going to send out notices to everybody at the school, telling them that there would not be any parking there. Hopefully they will not park there. I'll talk to Kevin because there's a couple places there, like right in front of the school, when you come in, I guess you come off the school parking lot, where you come off, there's a fire hydrant that's there. There's a place there you can watch traffic, and then also right below that, there's a little alley between those two houses. There's actually called Clemson Alley. That's a right-of-way. You can park there. That's a right-of-way. And I don't think anybody ever is going to have any problem. I don't have a problem sitting in my driveway to get the traffic off there, if they're parked there. Hopefully just the presence of a police car, people get the, notion that they can't park there. We're hoping that's all we have to do to make that work. So the school knows they have a problem. They said about making parking in the parking lot so that they won't have to come off the road. But then if they zigzag it through the parking lot, when the teachers get off, they can't get out of the parking lot because the parents got them parked in. So that's not our problem. That's their problem. They said that they can't let the kids out of their vehicles until 8:25 in the morning. At 8 o'clock in the morning, there's people setting up there in the parking lot to let their kids out. They can't pick their kids up until 4:15 in the evening, and at 3 o'clock, they're setting up there in line waiting to pick up their kids. Downright ridiculous. I don't know why these people, they need something else to do with their life rather than sitting along the street. I mean, kids always enjoyed riding the school bus. I mean, I did. Probably got in trouble riding the school bus, but anyway, I can understand it. They said during COVID, they picked their kids up because they didn't want their kids on the bus. But COVID's over. The kids enjoy riding the bus. I don't, why do you sit in line for an hour and a half to wait to get your kids when, you know, you can't pick them up till a certain time? So we're hoping that that takes care of the problem. Hope we don't have to, you know, write any tickets up there, but it is a problem. We're going to try to eliminate it this year. The principal knows it. He said he's sending out notice to all the parents, and hopefully they'll take heed of it and cooperate with us a little bit, because it is a traffic hazard up there. Our problem with being the mayor and council, we are responsible for the safety of the people in Union Bridge. And people parking up there on that hill, somebody gets killed up there in a traffic accident, who they're gonna come blame first? They're gonna blame the town of Union Bridge because we didn't have parking signs there. Even though somebody, you know, whoever caused the accident up there is gonna get a ticket. But we know how things go nowadays. They're gonna sue that person, they're gonna sue the town because we don't have parking signs up there. So the signs are there. We're gonna do the best we can to eliminate the problem. It's just one of the parking problems in Union Bridge. I see a lot of happy faces here tonight, you know, because of parking. And parking is an issue in the town of Union Bridge, always has been. So that part of it we hope to eliminate. So we'll see what happens. I hate to put you on the spot, Kevin, but you know, if it's just you and some of the other deputies just sit up there, I'm sure people, they see the police car there, they're gonna take heed of it and hopefully do the right thing. So.
Thank you. You didn't put me on the spot. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, that's about all I have. I know we have a Carroll County chapter meeting coming up in September, so everybody has to talk to Dawn and see about whether you're gonna go to the chapter meeting. I think it's in Sykesville this time, and we'll discuss that, have that to go. That's about all I have right now. I am working, Brett and I, and Mike, and Dawn, we had a conversation the other week with one of the developers, and I'm still working on some of our federal people for funds for sewer plant. I made a couple phone calls last week, and of course, they say they're gonna get back with you. We'll see. I think they're all worried about immigration right now instead of water and sewer problems that we're having, so we'll see what happens with that. We'll just keep hammering at them and see what happens, you know. We've been paying in the water restoration fee for the Bay restoration for years. The deal was that all the bigger towns was gonna get some of that money first, and then they were gonna work with the smaller towns, and you can't get much smaller than we are, and we haven't been able to see any of that money yet. So we'll just keep hammering at them and picking at the door. Hopefully we'll get some of those funds to help with our sewer plant. We just have to take it one day at a time and see what happens, but I'm not gonna let up on them. I'm gonna be very frustrated with them, and they'll get tired of hearing me after a while. Okay, Mandy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If you all will remember, at the last council meeting, we had Tim Kelly come into the council session and speak to us about purchasing the property that is right next to his Ladiesburg Road property. If you'll remember, he is the new owner, Mr. Wright had owned the property before that we had discussed. The appraisal was completed since he signed the payment form with the town, so I had the appraiser go out, and he has estimated the value at $3,600 for that parcel. I will note that, I know it says it's located at 453 Quaker Hill Road. The original deed reference, that went back to that property, the 11 acres that is with the community center. That's where that came from, because I did check with the appraiser on that, because I noted that. And then also the photograph is not the photograph of the actual parcel of land, which I noted to them as well, and they said, no, that wasn't, it was across the street, that picture was, so. That is the number that we have right now for the appraisal of that, so the town council needs to make a decision if they want to offer this piece of land for sale for that amount, or whatever amount the council deems appropriate, so that I can let Mr. Kelly know the next steps.
Okay, council want to think about this, or? No, that was for just that one little parcel
Just
that,
that one little parcel.
okay, that goes, that he wanted to go with that property over top of the sink.
Correct, and I actually sent him, of the many different surveys that we looked at, the one that actually has the boundary and pinpoints of that specific parcel. So he knew exactly what he was looking at. Yes, you'll note that it's in the packet as well.
Okay. So the council feel okay with sending this to the gentleman and telling him what the appraisal price was and see if we can go from there?
I am.
I'm fine with it. We've already discussed it beforehand, before we had the appraisal, so.
Have they seen this and his attorney?
He does not have an attorney.
Okay, so just him.
Yeah, Mr. Schaefer was representing Mr. Wright at the time.
Okay.
So he does not have an attorney. I have not sent this to him yet.
Okay. So I guess our next step would be to send him the appraisal and then see where it goes from there. Okay?
And does town council authorize me to offer it for sale for the $3,600?
Right, yes.
Do we need a motion for that?
Come on, have a vote on
Yes.
that? So- Sure.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we offer the parcel of land next to 4714 Ladiesburg Road to Mr. Kelly for $3,600.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
Should we add to that,
The attorney's fees?
they pay all costs
Yeah,
as well?
that's the
Put
best
that in the
way.
Do
motion.
you want me to say that again?
Yes.
The whole thing? Okay.
You amend your motion?
I amend my motion. I make a motion that we, I forget exactly what I had said before, sell the property to Mr. Kelly at 4714 Ladiesburg Road for the amount of $3,600, and he will cover all attorney fees, administration fees, recordation fees.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, we have a motion, second. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Noes, okay. Good
And
with that.
just another point that I did not have on my agenda today is that the town did get the settlement sheet for the second 3M PFAS settlement, and the town will be receiving a little over $80,000 for that. So we're slowly but surely
Yes,
getting
well,
them done.
it costs them-
We have Tyco, I believe, coming up next for that settlement series.
Cost that much for just
What are these for?
The PFAS.
the PFAS that is ongoing throughout the whole country? The contamination is supposed to be in the water that's been there since 1931. The government went from here on standards all the way down to here on standards in 1 year. So everybody has to mediate what it's going to cost to treat the water and stuff like that. And this is just a settlement from 3M and a bunch of other people that over the years, they say have contaminated the water. So every municipality is getting some sort of refund on that so that we can treat the water to their standards.
Okay.
And this amount of money will probably not even cover, but it's going to cost to treat the water when it gets done, right, Brett?
That's one change of the media.
Yeah.
really. I mean, that's the problem with any settlement that we get, is it's only gonna help the construction of the process to remove the PFAS. It doesn't pay for ongoing costs.
Right.
And that's where everybody's water bill is gonna go up because of that. Unfortunately, it will.
And eventually, it's not only going to hit just the municipalities, it's probably going to hit the private well people after a while too, isn't it? I mean, of course, it's up to them to treat their own wells if they don't.
Yeah, I'm
if
not,
they're-
not sure they can make them treat,
Right.
but yes, I mean, it will affect them. If PFAS was used in, proximity to their wells, I mean, here, our PFAS more than likely came from foam, from the fire department. But I don't know where else it might have came from in this area.
We don't use, we don't use a lot of foam. I mean,
Yeah, and it may be from something
Yeah.
else that I'm not aware of that's happening in here, but it's in everything.
yeah,
The multi-state litigation, as far as the complaint, they pretty much stick to the fact that it was from the phone,
Right.
from the fire departments is where they go from. And then, of course, as far as what each municipality gets is based on our numbers for how much is in the drinking water. So that's where that comes from. And there are some municipalities nationwide that have a lot higher numbers than Union Bridge based on how many citizens they have, so.
In Westminster, well 8 was right beside the fire training center, so they used a lot of foam there. And they have some really high numbers in that well. But they're treating it successfully, so it is doable, but it isn't cheap.
No. Okay. That it?
That is it.
Okay. Deputy McGinnis.
Good evening, everybody. I got a rather quick one this evening. Between July 28th and August 25th, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office received 18 calls for service within the town of Union Bridge. Out of those calls for service, one was found to be reportable. On 8/21/25, at 11:03 p.m., deputies responded to East Elber Street for a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, a mutual assault was reported between the female parties, unrelated to a domestic. It was later discovered that one of the involved parties became disorderly, causing additional calls for service to the area. The subject was subsequently arrested and for disorderly conduct, and that concludes my monthly report. So just one report this past month, which I think is pretty good for the area.
Yes.
I double and triple checked it because I was like, this is rare. But one of our problems that was causing a lot of reports has actually been away for a little bit of time. So maybe that might be
Yes.
the reason for that, without saying too much. But as far as that traffic issue, I wanted to, what are the peak times that you want me to look into that?
Well, I think the worst times is probably, it's not so much in the morning, the worst time is probably from about 3 to 4:15 or 4:30 in the afternoon when, you know, people are going up to pick up children at school.
Okay.
Probably
So 3 to
don't,
4:30.
yeah, they probably don't get out on the street until probably a little after, I know they go lining up at 3 o'clock, so it's probably a little after 3:30 till they get parked out on the street.
I know a lot of times I'm probably just early at it, so I
Yeah.
just want to make the proper modifications so I can be up there at peak time for going forward with that.
Right.
But-
And hopefully-
And our main concern isn't, I mean, if that turn lane starts to get backed up, it's not really that, it's just cars in the roadway, in the
Right.
peaceful roadway.
Right.
And just tell them, move on until we got space for you to
Yes.
drive in circles, I guess
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
best solution.
And
until
we
can
don't, you know, it's a parking violation. We don't want to have to, you know,
Yeah.
get Lee to go up there, you know, somebody go up
Yeah.
there and start writing parking tickets. But I mean, it's common sense that they just can't park there and block traffic the way they do. And, you know, it's like I say, it's a hazard because we don't have, it's not, once they park on the side of the road and then there's one-way traffic up there.
Right.
People weaving in and out. And
Sure.
we know how many
We've got a
trucks,
truck that comes through there.
trucks go in and out of this town. You know, we just can't have that up there.
Absolutely. And I know you and I have discussed that solution, potential solution. Maybe I'll have a meeting with the principal coming up
Yeah.
here, and maybe we can make something work.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I know Laura's probably got more for National Night Out for Union Bridge, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Nobody has anything else.
Yeah, okay.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Okay, committee reports. We'll start with Tony.
The road projects that were planned are complete. I drove by to look at all of them. They all look good. I left a sheaf of papers on everybody's thing today. We were having trouble downloading it for the ADA. It's just for your own reference. It's nothing official. It's actually a letter that was sent to the Maryland Historical Society because they have to go through that process before they do all this. But it did include a really good description of what they planned on doing. So I figured you guys could probably use that, if nothing else, just for the description. As soon as the Historical Society approves it, then they'll move forward with that. So, but there wasn't anything concrete. And that is all I have because you brought up the signs.
Okay, all right. Ellen?
Well, I help with National Night Out at the beginning of the month, and I've been trying to get in touch with the Tonytown Lions Club baseball team, which I haven't had any success yet.
I don't think it's actually called the Lions Club baseball team. It's Tonytown Rec Team or something like that, but
The paperwork says Tonytown Lions
Okay.
baseball.
I know they have new people because all the other guys were there last year. They moved on, so I'll see what I can do and get hold of somebody for you.
Yeah. I emailed the guy that had sent the email to the town. I haven't heard back yet.
Okay. Let's see what we can do.
And I've given some warnings lately
Okay.
for parking.
Okay. All right, Brett?
I don't have anything, but I would like to say that my comment about the PFAS coming from the fire department, I'm not blaming the fire department.
No.
So I don't want any fire department people getting mad at me saying, because they were only using what was provided for them.
Right.
At the time. They had no idea
Yeah.
what this stuff was gonna do.
And I know that's what the government says it comes from that, it's like,
That's one thing.
yeah. And then like 3M down at Westminster, down at Bethel Road, they said a lot of them come from 3M and Black and
Yeah.
Decker and industry, so.
Yeah, yeah, but that's.
We had a lot of other industry in town, it could have come from the dye from the sewing factories that used to be in town. Who
Totally
knows?
possible, yes, yeah.
There was, one time there was 3 sewing factories in town, and it could have come from the dye that they used in the clothing and stuff, so. Okay, Laura?
So on August 5th, we had National Night Out, and it was a great success. I am very thankful for the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, Maryland State Police, Union Bridge Fire Company, and the other volunteers who helped the entire event. My husband was counting people, and we had over 200 attendees, which is really good for our town. And we had a lot of fun. We gave away a lot of food. And I wanted to thank Master Deputy McGinnis and the Sheriff's Office for donating 2 children's bicycles, which were raffled off during our free giveaway. And also I wanted to thank Payload Rock Band for donating their time and talent to keep the energy going, and Heidelberg Materials for their monetary donation. On August 19th, I attended the Carroll County Downtowns meeting. On August 22nd, I submitted a food permit request for the next snow cone event. And speaking of the snow cone event, it will be this Friday on August 29th from 12 to 2 p.m. And it'll be our final snow cone event of the year.
Okay, Logan?
I'm short this month. I have nothing new to report.
Quiet this month.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we get to public comments and concerns. Now we have, anybody wants to speak has to come to the microphone, give your name, address, and your concern. Please.
Hi there, Sean Donovan, 203 Penrose. There was recently some paint put down on the roadway for parking spots that are entirely too small. A full-size pickup truck does not fit there, so then we're getting harassed.
They are according to the size of what the state police gave us and the sheriff's department gave us to the size.
Well, elsewhere in the town ordinances, it references parallel parking spots should be 25 feet. Those are measured around 20.
Okay, we'll have them check them.
Where is this located?
On Penrose.
Past the VFW.
And then there's one spot at the end, closest to, I guess, Stoner, that we're being told is not a spot, but it looks like a spot. Then we got yelled at for parking there.
Who yelled at you for parking there?
I believe it was Miss Lou.
Now, my name's Ellen. I was board ranger. I gave people warnings. I didn't yell at anybody. I did talk to one gentleman who was parking his car and about to park over the line, and I just told him he might want to park in the spot behind him because it was a full parking spot. The spot he was trying to park in had another vehicle in it also. And he appeared appreciative when I told him that, so I don't know where the yelling came from.
If they are too small, we'll make adjustments to them. Can you give us some information on that, Kevin? Well, I guess we'll look at our town ordinance, what it says as far as footage.
I can look into it, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It references off-street parking for parallel parking should be 25 feet. So to me, that means on-street parking should also be 25 feet.
But we'll look at it. If it says that, we'll make it 25 feet. And then once that's done, I hope everybody pays attention to it. Because if it is 25 feet and we make it 25 feet, if it's not taken care of and people park within those lines, you will get a ticket.
No, that's fine.
But
We're willing to
what
pay
the
tickets
ticket,
if we
it was
park
put
on-
there to give people adequate parking on the street.
But we don't have adequate parking spaces.
Well,
fit
we'll
in the
check it.
spots.
If it's got to be 25 feet, we'll make it 25 feet. And then if people don't park within the 25 feet, over the 25 feet, over the lines, we'll make adjustments to the lines if that's what it calls for. And if you don't park within the lines, you will get a ticket.
That's fine. What was
Okay.
the reason for these spots in the first place?
Because we're doing it all over town, making spots for people, because there's more cars in town than there ever has been. So we're going around to the streets. We did Elber Street, we had to do it on Main Street, and we did the dead end of White Street, or Broadway. But every street in town will eventually have parking spaces because of the amount of cars that are in town.
Okay. And one last question. What's the reason for the yellow spaces on both sides that takes away from further parking? I understand visibility.
Because you can't park all the way on the corner.
Okay. Well, then, my last statement would be, when you double check the sizes, also double check that part that's closest to, what is it, Stoner, White Street, or whatever it is, behind 7-Eleven, because that shouldn't be a parking spot. Obviously, if you make them 25, that'll have to move down, but for that to be not considered a parking spot and be big enough for it is absurd.
You know, it will not be a parking spot all the way up to, that's got to leave space for vehicles to get around that corner.
Well, once you take a look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
But we'll make adjustments to it, we'll check them.
Make sure anything that's not a spot is marked with yellow paint.
Yes.
So we know we can't park there and not
Well,
get warnings.
we've got yellow paint on Main Street, and people don't know what yellow paint is. They park there anyway.
Well, I
But,
think I speak for all of our Penrose families
but
here.
anybody, after the adjustments are done, anybody that violates the parking after the adjustments are done will get a ticket. And if the tickets aren't paid within 30 days, the ticket price goes up. And then if they don't pay it, it's held against your tags, and you will not get your tag registration until it's paid.
Nobody's saying anything about
Okay,
not
but
paying.
we will make adjustments, and then, you know, we want to work with the people. We want the people to work with us. So thank you for bringing it to us, that they're not at the right, accurate, you know, distance. We'll make adjustments to it, and hopefully that'll take care of it.
Thank you.
But, thank you.
Are there enough spots as it is? Because once we make them bigger, we'll lose some spots. Are there enough for the residents?
With the markings for spots, there's one extra spot,
Yeah.
then we have vehicles. So you'll lose that one extra one that was not necessary to begin with.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
There, my name's Caitlin. I'm on 207 Penrose. And I just had a question. What would be the process, if it even is possible, to do like an RPP on Penrose, like residential permit parking?
We're not going to start that because they had that, people want to do it on Main Street and other places. It's not feasible.
Well, I understand not doing it on Main Street because it's Main Street, but what
But
about something
no,
like Penrose?
We're not going to get into that. It's because the first time you come home and somebody's parked in your parking spot, then you're going to want to either the people ticket it.
Well, I know
And-
like some places do annual fees, so what if we
Yeah,
paid an annual
yes.
fee to have those
Yes,
spaces?
we discussed that last month's meeting, and we're not getting into that. It's not feasible, because people don't pay attention to it. And then people think that they own the spot that's in front of their house. You do not, you know, even though you pay taxes to the middle of the road, you do not own that spot. It's parking. And unfortunately, we're not going to get into, and that's just me talking, I'll let the other council talk. We've had that question brought up several times, that people want parking, you know, they buy a spot in front of their house for so much money a year. We're not going to get into that. It's just more paperwork and more added people that you're going to have to get out here to watch it and control it. Because people don't pay any damn attention to signs or whatever. It never happened. It's never worked before. We put signs up before and asked people. It's just like on Main Street and some of the other streets. When we're trying to work on the streets, we put signs up and ask people not to park there. They park there anyway. Main Street is a state highway, and when there's a snow emergency plan, nobody on Main Street is supposed to park there on Main Street anywhere during a snow emergency plan, as long as snow emergency plan, and they park there anyway. And last week we had discussion. I'm hoping that the state highway doesn't have the people to do it. They have the authority to come in there and tow every vehicle off at Main Street on a state highway and a snow emergency plan and have them towed away. And thank God they ain't gonna come to us, because I'm not towing them, because there's gonna be a conflict of interest. They're gonna go as far away as they can, and people are going to have to pay it. And it's the same way if they'd ever do a residential parking thing, which the big cities are talking about doing it, they haven't done it yet. Baltimore City's talked about it, they haven't done it yet. And they're a lot bigger than we are, and I just don't think we need to get into something like that and try to control parking. I know everybody down there, everybody down there on that street pretty much knows your neighbor, so you can park in front of your house, behind your house, or wherever. It's not gonna cause a problem, because I think, I don't know, some people down there have 2 vehicles, some have 1. And I think most of the houses down there, if you can't park in front of your house with your 1 vehicle, you got enough spot in your garage, and you can park behind your house, just have to walk a little bit further. But
Yeah, I mean, there isn't, the alleyway, I guess it's Wareheim Alley, there isn't really much space, like, in our garage, nobody's car is fitting in the garage,
Right.
we all have pickup trucks.
Right.
And so it's difficult, and parking around back isn't, I can speak for myself and a lot of the parents here, we have small children, infants, and growing families, and parking around back isn't necessarily the safest option for us mothers who have to carry young children inside and bags of groceries.
Right.
That's why I was bringing it up, because
Yeah.
it would really alleviate the issue of the off chance of somebody from, Joe Schmo from another area parking there and then
Right.
coming home and not having a space to
yeah.
safely park
yeah.
and load and unload my
Yeah.
children.
But it's just like this past weekend, they had a big event at the fire hall. They had 450 some people at the fire hall for an event, and those people came in and they were parked everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a little bit like when people go to flood zone. We have signs down at the parks, the Donald Wilson Park, say vehicles will be towed, and people park there all the time. And parking's always been a problem in Union Bridge. People park back at stand balls, they park at the railroad, they park anywhere they want to park, and people don't pay attention to signs. I'll let the council have some discussion on this. You've been around, most of you've been around, Brett's been around as long as I have.
The getting your own space, I don't know how we would do it town-wide. And we can't just do it on one street, because then everyone else, with the amount of rental properties and multiple units in homes, I mean, well, Logan, they're across from you, was it 3 or 4 apartments in that house?
It's at least 3.
Yeah, so, potential for at minimum 3 cars, maybe 6 cars, and they don't want to park behind their house, which they can, because they had to have that in order to get the apartments. But it's hard to enforce that, and I just don't know how we would do it town-wide. Now, I agree with you that 20 foot's not big enough. Crew cab, crew cab long bed won't, it might be 20 foot bumper to bumper, but it's close. Yeah. Yeah, well, trailer hitch adds yeah.
Trailer hitch ain't supposed to be in anyway. If
Yeah.
you're not using them, that's against the law too.
Yeah, but we'll definitely have to look at that 20-foot thing,
But it opens up a bag of worms. If we have 500 houses in Union Bridge, and every 500 people would want their own parking place in front of their house, and that ain't gonna happen.
I don't know how we would do it. And-
I can
and
understand your frustration with your kids and all, but we
do
just
as
can't do
well,
it.
yeah. But, I mean, we give it more thought. I have no problem with giving it more thought.
I would appreciate that. Like I said,
Yeah.
paying an annual fee, charging us per spot
But
even.
then I'd say we got 500 other houses in Union Bridge, you're gonna want the same thing.
Just take it as a case-by-case basis, I guess, if somebody.
Well, you do yours, and I guarantee you next month it'll be
Everybody.
500 other people here want the same thing, and that's,
Yeah, I don't know
They-
how you would do it on, like, Benham Street.
Yeah.
There, South Benham, because there's so many apartments
yeah.
in a small area there, and how maybe rental properties wouldn't apply, with multiple units. I don't know.
Or maybe some streets wouldn't apply. I guess it, like I said, it would
Yeah.
have to be case-by-case basis.
It's
Well,
just-
I think we can agree to think about it more, because that has come up.
Yeah, we would appreciate that, that's all, just to think it over. I know it would be a total pain in the ass. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, we have growing families, and it is, you know, I have to drive my kid to the bus stop every day, and in the wintertime, if I'm expected to park around back, if somebody's in the front, I have to drudge through a foot of snow in my backyard just to, and if I could, our yards are fenced in on that side of Penrose. If I could pull up into my backyard right up against my house, I really wouldn't care that much, but I can't. I want a safe space as close to my house as possible to get them in and out and
Right.
whatever, groceries, bag, you know.
Yeah. The biggest problem with parking in Union Bridge is, and it always has been, is that you get certain neighbors get along, and you got certain neighbors that ain't nothing but a pain in the butt. Mm-hmm. And that's where the problem comes, all over Union Bridge with parking. Because, like you say, you live there, and you know you live there, but then you might have, like we have on Broadway or wherever, you have another neighbor that will, you know, you've lived there for 15 years and you've always parked there, and you'll have another neighbor that lives up there, he's gonna park there, when he gets a bone against you, he's gonna park there for spite. And it happens all over town all the time. It's not, the parking problem most of the time is neighbors not getting along with neighbors. And that's where the big hassle comes in.
So my next question, who would we speak to about permits of like cutting the curb and putting like our own little driveway in like our front yard? Like if we wanted to do that. I know we would have to pay for a permit to cut the curb right there, but who would we speak to about that?
You'd have to talk to the, I guess, come down.
Zoning.
To see if it's even permitted.
Yeah,
in,
because the other problem is that you cut the curb, and then when it rains and the water runs down there, where's the water gonna go?
Gotcha.
You know, you're gonna have to put a drain in the street or something, and if you cut the curb, you know, it's
I
just,
don't know if that would be permissible with the zoning, but
Yeah, again,
It would just be something for us to look into,
Yeah.
I guess. And if they say no, it's not permissible, then, you know.
we have to look, because it gotta have the curb there for the water to run, and then if you don't have a curb, then you're talking about putting in boxes and stuff in the ground and everything. That's very expensive to put them in and put drains all underneath the ground. It would have to go all the way down the street. I know you don't want to pay for that.
I don't know if this matters. The other side of the street doesn't have a curb.
Right.
Is that
'Cause, yeah,
okay? Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
thank you.
Caitlin, what was your last name?
Weisgerber.
You have to spell that one for me.
Weisgerber.
And you're at
Sounds.
207.
207. Thank you.
Okay, any other public comments and concerns before we get into? Okay. I got a couple things. As PIO for the fire company, September the 6th will have their bingo banquet. Their breakfast will start in October the 12th, the second Sunday of the month through October till May. Mother's Day will be the last one. This Saturday, August the 30th, down at Flood Zone, the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation has a fundraiser there from 12 to 8. It's a good event down there. It's an event for all fallen firefighters over the country. State of Maryland, that is a very good event. They've had it, I guess, for the last 5 or 6 years down there, so you'll see some antique fire trucks down there and firemen running around with uniforms on and stuff like that to honor the fallen firefighters. And then put on your calendar for November the 8th will be the Marine Corps birthday party at Flood Zone. It'll be the 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps. And that is really a big event. It's going to be really something because it's 250th anniversary. And they always have a full house down there for that. So there's going to be a lot of Marines in here that weekend. So just something to put on your calendar. It's something, if you've never been there to that event, it's really nice and it's something to sit and take a couple. The main event usually starts like 1 or 2 o'clock, and they always have a guest speaker. And I don't know who they're going to have this year, but they always have somebody that's a high-ranking official from the Marine Corps. So it's a good event for anybody that's a Marine or thinking about joining the Marines or just going there and finding out more about the Marines and supporting them and supporting the town. So would appreciate that. And is there Anybody else have any comments or concerns? These little ones back here have been very good this evening. Okay, our next work session will be September the 8th, and our next council meeting is September the 22nd. And do we have anything else for anybody tonight? Hearing none, we're in line for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Noes? Motion carried. Thank you.